fixture. Coach, maybe we can just start with opening remarks. Obviously, you head into this fixture with a 2-0 advantage, but it's an away fixture. You were in the final last season, maybe a step closer. What are your thoughts? What can we expect come Saturday?
Good afternoon to everybody. Nice to see so many journalists out. It's good that we're here before the other two. Yeah, look, obviously looking forward to another exciting challenge for us. Having made last year's final, we obviously would love to be back in another final. We started the first leg or the first half of this game well. We achieved our objectives of scoring some goals and also not conceding an away goal. So I thought we were really good on the day at home against Sekhukhune. But we are very aware that the game is only halfway done, and Sekhukhune are a very good team. They're showing that in their league form. Obviously, they have the same ambitions to be getting in the final, so we understand that the challenge will be big for us. But at the same time, you know, we've got to reward ourselves for a first half that was the first leg, which we achieved what we want to do. So it's up to us now, and it's our responsibility to go there for the second leg and ensure that we get ourselves into the final. Obviously, I think we've learnt over the last season or so in these home and away ties playing in Confed is that sometimes going away from home you have to be braver than at home, just because of the importance of the away goal. So obviously that's part of us. We can't go there and expect that we can just defend our 2-0 lead. That would be unwise. I believe that we've got to be positive. We've got to take the game to Sekhukhune, and we've got to try and get an important away goal, which then I believe puts us in a really, really strong position.
Thank you, Coach. We'll take the first question from the floor. We should have a roving microphone in the middle. Thank you, my brother there. We've got two microphones actually. I'll take the first one. See, there's a hand here. I've noted. Let's go to Benjamin first. I've noted Nick. I've noted Minenhle as well.
Coach Benjamin Yolenda, Eswatini Daily News. Coach, you have played 3 league games without a win, but though you drew one with Magesi, but you have lost 2. But in the MTN 8, you have won all these 2 first games. What do you think is the difference in the league and in the MTN 8?
Yeah, I think it's very clear that we need to be here to speak about a different competition than the league. We've done well in the MTN to put ourselves into the semi-final and to put ourselves in a strong position to make the final. That's all we're concentrating on. We're concentrating on Saturday's fixture, which is a massive fixture for us and a massive opportunity to once again get into another final.
Thank you, Benjamin from Eswatini Daily News. We'll go to Nick, then Minenhle will be next.
Good morning, Coach. Nick Leeson for Backpage Media. Does the possibility of setting up a rematch of last year's final with Pirates and the possibility of getting a bit of revenge in a sense act as a source of extra motivation for you and your players?
I don't think it's necessarily a revenge type of mentality that we need. I think the important part for us is to just basically concentrate just on Saturday's match and not have any thoughts of a final until we have progressed into a final. Obviously, we don't know who the opposition would be should we make the final. So yeah, we don't have thoughts of any sort of retribution or any revenge. We will just look forward to the final, and yeah, if you take sort of steps of progression, we lost in the quarterfinal 3 years back, then we lost in the semi-final, and then we lost in the final. So hopefully this time we can go one step further and we can lift the trophy. But I think it's an important message. We still have matches in between. Obviously Saturday, the MTN and league matches coming up. So it would be unwise for us to be thinking too far ahead, except just making sure that we finish a job well that we started very well with.
Okay, Minenhle. Can we get the mic to you?
Super Sport Blitz. Coach, you just touched on the point, you've got experience now having been in these CAF competitions, playing two-legged games. What would you say have you been trying to install within your group of players that, yes, on paper it looks good that we're 2-0 up, but here are the red flags that don't mess it up with this 2-0 lead?
Yeah, I think a good point that you've made. That's obviously, having played home and away ties last year in the MTN 8 with Sundowns, and then obviously we had 6 in the Confed. We've had a good record. The only one that we've not come through over home and away is against Simba. And we also learned from that occasion. So what we do know and what we have learned is that never ever think that the job is done until it's done. We cannot become complacent. We cannot believe that a 2-0 lead is anything. In my opinion, you've got to start the game on a clean slate. We've got to approach it with positive mindset. We've got to be able to take the game to Sekhukhune and, ensure that we don't just allow them. Obviously, the first 20-30 minutes will be crucial. I'm sure they will be coming out, hopefully, to get a goal and then, put themselves in a position to perhaps get the second and maybe take it to penalties, or maybe they have other ambitions to take it further. So we cannot go there and expect that they're not going to cause us problems. They're a good team. Michal was a really good player. Krobler's a good finisher. Mkube showing he's a good finisher. They've got good experience at the back. But at the same time, we've grown as a team in these type of competitions. We've learned how to come through difficult situations. So this is not a difficult situation in terms of the scoreline, but during the match there will be periods that we're going to have to come through and deal with. But the most important part is that we've got to go there and we've got to get a goal, if not 2, and take the tie away from them.
Coach, moving on to next questions. Can you get the mic to Kamo and then Temba?
Okay, Coach Mokaba from Wellington. Coach, how tricky is it playing the same team twice in a space of a week? Though you had played a game yesterday, but in this competition, how tricky is it? And also, are preparations any different going into this one as well?
Yeah, look, I think, again, it's through past experience playing a team so close twice. There's opportunities because one knows exactly, I wouldn't say exactly, but you know them well enough. We've done obviously our analysis before the first leg. They've played midweek, they got a good result. So we know what to expect, we know what type of plays they have. We've recently played against them, so in terms of our preparation, it does make the preparation easier. The key part is just dealing with moments in the game. So there'll be big key moments, whether it's us in possession and looking to score a goal, or making sure that we don't concede early. So I don't see it as more difficult. I see it as 2 teams that will know each other well, having played each other recently. So preparation will be key. It'll go down now more to finer details that will be important in the match.
Temba.
Joseph on Sports. Coach, good to see you again 2 days in a row. It's not every day. Coach, you seem to have learned a lot personally and with your technical team. How much of the CAF experience has helped you to improve even your squad in the local game, looking at the scenarios that you've been putting, that you've done well against somebody away, you didn't do well against home, all of that? How much of that comes into play now in your new season within the PSL, and are the players up to the challenges that you're likely to face within the MTN 8 using the same scenarios that you've learned in the CAF space?
Most certainly we've learned a lot. It wasn't long ago, probably around 2, maybe 2.5, 3 seasons ago. I always looked at Mamelodi Sundowns as the team in South African football that was just above everyone else. And one of the things I realized about them is that the experience they gain on the continent, the way they manage games, the way they sort of, approach certain matches, whether it's a home, whether it's away. And I think the experience that they gained over the years playing in Confed stood them in good stead when they went to the Club World Cup. So, I've always said that, we've got to also learn quickly. It must not take us 2-3 seasons to learn. So we had a really good experiences last year, and it's learned us that, you have to be resilient. We started our group stages with 2 losses, came back to qualify. obviously, didn't score at home against Zamalek, went away and won the game. So what we have learned is to overcome adversity, to bounce back from setbacks. I believe that we're a team that do that well. Important for us, obviously, the league campaign is a separate campaign, but we've also learned good lessons in the last sort of 3 matches. And if in losing, if you don't learn and you don't become better and you don't grow, then there won't be progression. So we see Saturday as an opportunity for us to just focus solely on the MTN, to ensure that we get into a final. And once we're in the final, then obviously to take that game as a separate entity. So it's focus on Saturday, get the job done, and then thereafter we've got 2 important league games before we have the FIFA break and before hopefully a final.
Coach, let's go to your Lulwe. I've noted the hands on this side. Come to you.
Coach from News of Africa. Coach, how have you juggled such a tricky week where you come away to one of the biggest teams in the country, and the Pirates have to play them when they're under pressure, they've got their own motivations, but also in the middle of a time where you also have to go in and possibly get yourself into another final against Sekhukhune United. And judging by some of the names that were on your bench last night, would it be fair to say that there was already one eye left on the second leg, which of course gives you an opportunity to go to a final and hopefully for yourself silverware?
Thank you for the question. I do believe that this season, obviously, there will be a lot of matches to be played from now till the end of May, with all the different competitions and obviously once again in Confed. So it's important that we sort of manage the squad in a way that we keep players fresh, we keep them available, we keep them injury free. For us as a club with, I would say, maybe a smaller squad than most other clubs, the key part is not overplaying players and they break down and then we lose them for longer periods of time. So it's about game management of players, it's about managing their minutes. And on Wednesday, it was also quite intentional with 1 or 2 of our decisions. It was good to get Bradley Mojela a start, so it was good for him to get sort of 45 plus 10 minutes. His first sort of start in over a year, so, well, maybe about a year. So that was good. And then obviously, some key players like KZ Godswill and Andre de Jong, Tatu Kiba. They've played a lot of minutes, a lot of matches. So besides Saturday, we've got a key league game on Tuesday against Marumo, and then obviously another key match against Sundowns the following. So it's about managing certain situations, but always trying to put out a team that will win a match that's in front of you. And that was the intention last night. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But we're looking for some of the players that didn't start to be nice and fresh and add the quality and freshness that we need on Saturday.
Coach, where do we have? Okay, let's go to Maskete, then Spogazi. I've noted Lonog as well. And there's another, and Jabulo will also get a chance.
Coach Maskeba from Power FM, 2 quick ones. The first one is on maybe your process, because I think every season you lose players. I'm looking at your lineup as well. I don't think there's once where you played with the same lineup since the season started. What's your process of just, maybe keeping the team at the same level, considering the number of players that you lose and you're forced to replace? And also, you've been losing players every season, and it wouldn't be, far-fetched to say that David Titus is another that's, grabbing the eye every time, playing all your matches. Have you thought of, what happens if people come knocking for him?
That was not very hard. No, listen, I think last night when I spoke to the players, it was important for them to understand that if you look at our 3 matches in the league, obviously the early red card and almost sort of double jeopardy when the goal was scored, top free kick from Nkobo in the top corner. Mkhesi is never an easy place to go play away from home, and then a really top goal last night. So, I would be a bit more concerned if we were being sort of carved apart and conceding sloppy goals, but we've lost two big teams in the country on really special type of goals. So our process is, sometimes you have to suffer when you have a new group of people together and a new squad together, sometimes you have to, you have to suffer, because suffering builds strength, and it builds resilience, and it builds solutions that you need to have. So I'm very confident that our process and our progression is on the right trajectory. We had always going to be a challenging start to the season in terms of the MTN challenge as well as the league and the teams that we're playing. But I keep saying it, that this is a team that has got huge potential. Players like Mtiani, Mokobodi, who hasn't had an opportunity as yet, Muzo Mushle, Kanyi, some of our youngsters that we've brought into the first team, as well as we're obviously waiting for Manafov, our left back that we've signed. Work permit hopefully will come soon. Player like Henry still also settling in. So our process is, we know that it's not going to be easy, and we know it's going to be tough, but we're also a team that don't cry over spilt milk. We wake up this morning, the sun is shining, it's nice to be here. It's nice to go to Polokwane, it's nice to play in semi-finals. So we are confident, we have belief in what we do, and we have belief in where we are going. And once again, I have no doubt in my mind that we will have another special season with the players that we have.
The second one, Titus?
No, Devin is our player. He's got ambitions to go to Europe only. He hasn't got any other ambitions to play locally for any team, so he wants to play in Europe, and we hopefully, if he continues doing what he's doing, hopefully we can help him achieve that dream, if not at the end of the season, with seasons to come.
Okay, moving on to Spogazi.
Good afternoon, Coach. Spogazi Melina from ENCA. Coach, having looked at the M108 as a player, how do you mentally prepare your players as they head into the semi-final, and especially having mentioned that you don't want to get ahead of yourselves as well? So what's the conversation like before the match? Thank you.
Bringing back memories there. On the drive here, I was speaking to our media guy, Liam Becker, telling him when I played for Wits, I used to live in Pretoria, and I used to travel 4 or 5 times a week from Pretoria to come and train here at Mill Park, which is just down the road. And that season, having won the back then the Coca-Cola Cup and the BP, was special as a player. So I've always had a vision and ambition as a coach. I've said it from day one when we got promoted to the PSL, that this club will win the MTN, and we've sort of started knocking on the door, and obviously finishing in the top 8 is the first step that you have to make to be in this competition, and I think we deserve to be here. And now we're on the brink of getting into another final, and experiences that we had last season, again, like I came back to the previous questions, sometimes through suffering, pain, maybe injustice, decisions that went against us, just builds resilience. We're a team that I can promise you, should we make the final, we will be up for it, and we will be going leather and tongue to lift the trophy and make our fans and our club and our family and loved ones proud of us.
Okay, Coach, we are now wrapping up. Let's go to Lonabo first. Lonabo. No, yeah, thank you. Jabulo and then Misali. Tambano.
Good afternoon, Coach. Just on the injury front, Cupido and Sanele Bonds, I think I heard you say last week after the game that you have 1 more player to register. Please update on that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Sanele will be available for the match on Saturday. Ashley is a bit 50-50 at the stage, so we'll see how he comes through training this afternoon and tomorrow. And as I said, we have 1 registration outstanding on Turan Manafov. We're still awaiting his work permit, so with some luck, hopefully he'll also be available on Saturday. But otherwise, the only doubtful player would be Ashley Cupido at this stage.
Thank you, Coach. Did you get the answer on new registration? You got that? Okay, thank you.
John Bennett from Stellenbosch. My question is twofold. Having seen Sekhukhune come from 2-0 down to win 3-2, what does that do in terms of going into this second leg, especially having done that in this tournament? And it's not just a Stelli's issue, but like a nationwide issue. How has the process been like in terms of getting your players to be in a position where if opponents are there for the taking, you kill off those games? Because you tend to get that 1-2 comfort, and then there's that relaxing, not just on Stelli's, but like I said, nationwide thing.
So I think on your first question, I think it's important for us to understand, and I think everybody sitting here can vouch for the fact that Sekhukhune have shown to be a really solid football team. Since their promotion, they've been competitive. They've been in a previous final of the Nedbank. They've been, knocking around the top sort of 3 and 4 of the league. So firstly, we have to know, and we do know, that they are a good team. And when you play against a good team who have good players, it's important to understand that a 2-0 lead is a precarious lead, because obviously when it goes to 2-1, it can change. So I keep coming back to what I said right in the beginning. I think the responsibility is on us to take the game to Sekhukhune, because I do believe an away goal would mean they would have to score 4, and I'm confident that we would be able to not let that happen. So it would be unwise for us to go there and believe we can just sit on a 2-0 lead and hopefully just hold on to that. No, it's important for us to be positive, take the game to Sekhukhune, ask them questions, make them defend, but at the same time we also have to defend with determination, and the longer the game goes and the scoreline hasn't changed, obviously the more risks they have to be taking, and then that's where you do come in being more ruthless and killing off games, which perhaps last night Pirates could have done when they were on top of us. They did not, which almost gave us a little bit of a sneak, but that's important for us to learn from that when on top of teams and you're controlling situations, you've got to make it count.
Thank you, Coach. Last question from Mihlali.
Coach here, Mihlali, Independent Media. Coach, you must know Coach Eric quite very well. Everyone, your careers probably started at the same time. You've had some rivalries during the Kappa Derby. I think you know him as a player as well. What do you make of him as a coach, and also the fact that there are high expectations for Sekhukhune to do well this season, and also the fact that all eyes will be on you guys to try to make it a point that you get through this semi-final coming Saturday?
Yes, I've got huge respect for Eric. Obviously, I've got to know him really well. Not only playing matches against Cape Town City, but a lot of friendly matches. We completed our CAF license last year together. Eric's a very astute coach in terms of tactically preparing his teams. He's a strong character. He's come through a lot of adversity in his career going forward and achieved great heights in terms of what he's done. So as a person, I've got massive respect for Eric, a really good person and a really good coach. But as the saying always goes, the 90 minutes on the field, it's about, yes, we will be respect for each other. We are friends off the field, but during the match, it's a battle and it's a war, and you want to win these battles and get past. So hopefully that answers your question.
All right, thank you very much, Coach.